Team, what is popping? Welcome to another edition of the Young Legacy series. Today I've got an insanely awesome guest. Her name is Hanalè Swan. First of all, sick name, and also amazing what she's doing today. She's so keen. I love it. She's an international speaker. She is a student of Dr. John Demartini. She lives in Bali. She's a #1 best-selling author. She's writing another book. She's got such an incredible family as well that support her all the way. I think she's got a clothing brand as well that's like ethically produced. This girl is literally singing from my hymn sheet. Just gone surfing, so she's just on the beach right now. Okay, Hanalei is on the beach. She should be joining us in a matter of seconds. 3, 2, 1. Yes, here she is. Hey, how you doing? Oh, is this my thing? Are you a bit, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't, oh my gosh. I can hear shuffling. Give
me one
There we
sec.
go. Is that mom? Is that mom?
Yep, we're in the background.
Hey mom, there she is. There's my Forbes girl. What's going on?
How are you? Yeah,
I'm amazing.
Her microphone was covered.
Oh,
we're great.
Awesome. It looks amazing. How's your surf lesson?
It's been good. I was surfing with my friends earlier. It's been really, really good. The surf is nice in Bali, so it's good.
Yeah? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I've surfed twice, and the longest I stood it was 17 seconds. I was literally like this, 17 seconds, and I was so proud of myself.
Yeah.
I take it you're good. Your dad is an amazing surfer, the unstoppable surfer. So I'm sure he teaches you. How good are you?
He's on his own surf trip right now. So I've been just surfing with my friends. So it's been nice.
Yeah,
he's having a lot of fun.
You're so awesome because I've actually stolen you away from a birthday party, haven't I?
What?
I've stolen you away from a birthday party, so I thank you so much for that. I feel so bad.
No, it's all good. Don't worry.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for giving me
Thank you so much as well.
You're so welcome. I saw your stuff. I can't remember where now. I think it was like a Russell Brunson or a John Peloton or Dr. Demartini, I think it was. Anyway, you are singing from my hymn sheet, and you're a 13-year-old girl, and you are absolutely just attacking life. And I love that so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and it's been amazing to expand and create incredible things, and being able to being able to travel the world and live a life. I've been over in sorry, something's glitching right now.
It's gonna get lighting.
Yeah.
We just gotta get her lighting back on.
Sorry.
Yeah. I would give you some of my lighting. It looks better there. I'd rather give you my lighting.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here. It really means a lot. And it's the afternoon where I'm at right now. So to kind of get started in everything that's gone on is that I've been traveling to all my life, ever since I was born. I've been able to travel to over 57 plus countries, and that's kind of where my life started. And it's really impactful and really incredible since I've been raised in an entrepreneurial family where I've been able to learn different things and learn entrepreneurial values. I've been to so many events, over hundreds of events, through my mom and dad speaking, and even now where I can speak on stages. And it's been an incredible journey. And one thing that I've always kept with me is happiness and always living your highest values. Something that John Demartini says, always living your highest values and living what makes you happy, living your dream. So it's incredible. And so when I was sorry, you glitched out for a second.
Oh, am I here?
Yeah, you're here now. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's super cool as well. So you've had that. That is such an awesome blessing, isn't it? And what really fascinates me, I believe, to have such a powerful, unstoppable, grateful child, you need to have some form of moral input from powerful parents, I believe. So a question was going to be, what would you say what would you say you've got from your mum and dad, your top three values that have helped you stay grounded and not be spoiled and not be kind of like entitled? Because there's a lot of that in the world, and it sucks. And I'm really fighting for kids to have some appreciation and gratitude for what they have. Because Hanalei, they've won the life lottery. The chances of them being here are 1 in 400 trillion. They're impossible. Yet they still go around feeling entitled. So I would love to get your top three morals or values that your parents taught you to help combat that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. So I've lived in a family of entrepreneurs. I've lived where I've read hundreds of books, been to hundreds and countless events, and have learned so many different principles and values from different people, especially with my mom and dad. And I've grown up in a way where I've been able to travel the world, and I've been able to see how different people live. I've been able to see the lowest of poverty, and I've been able to see incredible happiness in things that other people can find happiness in. Like, when I was like really young, I would play soccer with the kids on the beach. And when I was born and how I've grown up is I never really saw race. I never really saw different countries or what the meaning was, or I didn't see rich people, poor people. I never put that value in because I grew up in those spaces where I've seen countless of people live their own life and be happy and find happiness not through things, but through community and through people. And I think that's a really important thing about growing up in community and not caring about items, not caring about things, living in a way where you can live off of the land, live in an incredible place, and just be happy for happy. And happiness doesn't come from things, it comes from community, and it comes from that shared joy. So I think that's a really big thing I learned. I definitely have learned a lot of things like being humble, not being, oh, this is me, this is what I do, treating people with respect, no matter who they are, what they are, treating people the same way. Same as you would treat a billionaire, you would treat someone who may not have the same amount of money. Because we are not made of money. Money doesn't equivalent to the person who you are. So I think it's really treating people with respect and giving so much love and compassion, and just learning how to give back, be nicer, always come out with a smile, and always make people feel good. So
I love that. That's so cool. Sense of community and kindness. I think that people are measured on their kindness. You know, what they can give and not have any expectation of anything in return. Because I think that's very egoic. That's really cool. In fact, my dad always taught me. He said, "I will speak the same way to the CEO as I do to the cleaner. Then the cleaner's not better than me. I'm not better than him. The CEO's not better than me. I'm not better than him. It's about being kind." And I think that's really, really cool. And I've noticed that as well in a lot of your posts on Instagram. And I think it's cool as well that you're talking about Earth as well. That for me and my girlfriend Laura, we have got such a high affinity for that. We think it's so important. And the pandemic that's going on now, we actually think it's probably a good thing because the world is healing.
Yeah.
And it's recovering.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really incredible now, especially with the virus and everything. Like, so many people, like, so many places and factories aren't working, which means that there's less pollution in our air. There's less products being made and less plastic. So it's really helping our earth and our ecosystem. I feel like it's kind of like an earth reset. So many beaches are way more clean. So many places are just Like, I saw this picture in China, which was like the before the coronavirus, and it was just like you couldn't see the sky or anything. It was just pure fog. And then after, and it's just this beautiful clear sky. And it's incredible how much this has impacted the earth. One of my missions, especially with the earth, is like I have my own fashion brand and created my own fashion brand using eco-friendly materials, especially to help the earth. And to me, giving back and helping people is so important. And like, so I can touch a little bit more on this with fashion, and the differences that I want to be able to create is big brands like H&M's and Forever 21, they are the water. And that is incredibly crazy. And then they outsource in India to make manufacturing prices go up. And it's and so many people are buying these, and after, if someone doesn't buy a product, it gets thrown in landfills, it gets thrown in rivers where the dyes seep out and they go into our rivers. And in places of poverty and where people can't afford clean drinking water, they have to drink from these rivers. And then it gets burned and it goes into our atmosphere. And it's just crazy how a single thing like the clothes we wear on our back are damaging the planet so much. And so I think that's a really important thing, to love our planet and to buy locally and help. And so one thing that I do is I create eco-friendly fashion. So I use sustainable materials like bamboo, which takes 0% water. Yeah, it's really incredible. It's one of the most comfortable fabrics, and it takes barely any water to grow the plant. And it's just so easy to use and so breathable. And then a type of fabric called modal, which is the leading fabric in sustainability. And it takes only 50% less water than cotton to grow, but it recycles its chemicals as well. And it's really important and really incredible. So I think like little things from the fabric that we use to things like manufacturing, where I create my clothing, Bali, handmade, and actually get paid a human and living wage for their petrol, for their work, over because a lot of people are less fortunate than us, so we might as well give a little bit fortune to them.
Yeah, that's so. Kindness in your heart is spreading throughout the world. You've got the planet and you've got people, and it's just exact. I mean, what gets me sometimes, I don't know if you managed to see some of my posts, but there's a guy in here called Luke. It's called It's Not Luke, and he loves these posts. So I go for a walk with my dog, and I do rule of 3. I pick up 3 bits of rubbish at least if I see it, and it's. I used to get really frustrated until I thought, you know what? It's not my rubbish, but it's my planet. I need to do this. It sucks that people are doing this. So I do sarcastic. I probably shouldn't, but I do sarcastic, silly Instagram videos of just like, oh, this is exhausting, picking up this can and putting it in this bin that's only 1 meter away. Oh, that took such an effort. I need to lie down. Oh my gosh, if only people had the strength to do that. And it's a bit silly. So I went for a really, really nice national park yesterday with my dog, and there was just bottles everywhere. Oh, really? My one's right just down there. He's chilling out. And I think I just think it's so important to have that mindset to actually, you know, to serve the planet, because it's not a right, we don't have a right to be here, it's our privilege. We're a privilege. And I think we need to do the best we possibly can to do that. So for you to use ethically sourced materials is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I would love to get, if you've got another site on here, we can tag this onto this, because I think it's really, really important. Super cool. Now You are. You're welcome. You are. You are. Oh, Anna just said Oswald is cute. He is cute. Thank you, Anna. You are kind of being mentored or have been mentored by Dr. D. Martini.
Mm-hmm.
That's epic. That's for me. That's so cool because I think it's awesome. There's so many. I always think that you can. It's easier to build stronger kids than it is to fix broken adults. And the fact that your mom and dad had the insight to understand that so early on is awesome. I mean, I think that you've won the parent lottery because that's super cool. And I think that to have those values instilled in you is just amazing. So what's it like having such a big, crucial figure in your life like Dr. D. Martini?
Yeah, he's a really incredible person. We've met a few times while he's been traveling and while we've been traveling. We've met up and kind of just talked about life and kind of how I process everything and talking about like going through life and creating new things, and especially one of the most important things I believe is living by your highest values. Yeah. And that's one thing that we talk about a lot. We've only met a few times, but I feel like he's a mentor to me and he's inspired me a lot, especially when I've always had doubts. Should I do this or should I do that? Or like, will people like me if I create this or if I put this out to the world? But one thing that I stick with me is living by your highest values, doing what you love. And I think that's something that's so important because if we're not happy, what is our purpose on earth? What is the purpose that we share? It's to be happy, to enjoy life. And I think if you're not happy, why are we on this planet? Because happiness is the key. It's the root of everything. And if we can achieve it through our highest values, that's the most important thing.
100%. 100%. We are all after the very same thing on this planet, but we go about it in different ways. Happiness. We're all after it, and we need to respect other people for their own journey towards happiness as well. So I think that's such a great insight to understand that we are here to be happy. What's the point in living if we don't feel alive? We've got to go for it, and I think that's really cool. So you mentioned just something just that it kind of like twinked something in my mind, which was be afraid of what people think. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of people in this world, particularly young kids, that are going through their social phase of life, that really want to fit in, that really want to do the right thing to fit in with that crowd over there, with the cool kids or whatever it may be. And sometimes they tend to sell their happiness to get there, or part of their identity to get there. In fact, some kids do so much, they are open to be ridiculed and be bullied to get there. Some of the kids are just living their own life and loving it, but then they get bullied as well. So I know that you have been bullied. I've been bullied. I grew up being, oh, by the way, my mum's on. Hey, mum. I've been bullied, and I think if you don't know how to deal with that, it massively, massively sucks, because it's like you're fighting against other people's words, which you take on and believe. You choose to believe their words. So you're essentially fighting against yourself, and you essentially bully yourself, which is horrible. I want to give as much as I possibly can to the young audience watching this. And I know that, well, you shared a really cool video recently about being bullied. I think that's so cool. Would you mind sharing that a little bit? Yeah,
so kind of to understand, like, when I was being bullied, I almost felt like I was putting on a mask. Kind of shielding myself and kind of letting it happen, thinking that, oh, if I did this, I'd be cool, or people would like me. And it's kind of masking myself. Like, one time, one of the kids, since I've been living in an entrepreneurial family and like videoing our whole life and living on social media and being able to share our voice, the kids would show my videos of when I was a baby and put them on the school projector. And it was things like that really hurt me. And how I saw it was, if I do this, which was doing a video, people are going to make fun of me. So that means that it's bad. So then I stopped doing any of those. I stopped creating artwork. I stopped doing what I love. And it was really hurtful at that time. And so I'd say that how I dealt with it was just letting go and just saying, and like letting go to people and just telling either my mom or dad and telling them what's going on so I'm able to find the best help. And especially for kids who may be watching this and going through that stage, it's not okay to bottle up your emotions and just wait for one day when someone can screw up the cap. You have to let it go. And it takes so much courage and so much bravery not to fight back and not to be in pain and stay in pain. It takes so much bravery to be able to just let go. And that's one of the most important things I did, was just being able to tell my family, tell what's going on, and share. Because when you bottle up your emotions for so long, it's sometimes hard to let it spill. And like later, a few months later, I finally moved from that school so that I could not have to be in that space of being bullied, being made fun of. And I was able to start to become the person I was and I am now, where I'm able to create, I'm able to talk, I'm able to share my experience for all the kids who may be watching and inspire them that they can truly be themselves, because we are all limited edition, so why not be unique? 100%. And I think that's really important to share.
That's so cool. And I love that you said that, because it's so important. In fact, that's my number one rule. Number one rule. It's kind of on the same level. Number one and number two rule about being bullied. Did you know, Hanalei, that over 64% of kids that are being bullied don't tell their parents or tell a friend or tell a teacher? It's heartbreaking, because they feel ashamed, or they feel it's snitching, or they feel embarrassed, or they feel guilty. Guilty after being taken the mick out of and targeted. What? They don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
My word, you've got to release that bottle cap. It's like I don't drink Coke. I don't agree with Coca-Cola, so sorry to use this analogy. But if you shake up, let's just say pop, and then you leave it there, and then you just do a little bit, it's just going to go nuts. You've just got to let it out, bit at a time, bit at a time. 64% of kids don't tell their parents or teachers or someone they're being bullied.
Which is crazy, because when I was being bullied in that process, I didn't think I was being bullied. I thought this was the normal standard of being friends. I thought that which is, in some cases, some kids think that way. Because if you don't have friends or like really close people, and then the first person you meet who's your best friend hurts you in verbally or physically, you don't think your mind doesn't program yourself to think that way. They think, oh, this is just how friends are. Oh, I just need to stay quiet. And I thought that for a long time. At the time, my bully was my best friend.
Wow.
And it was painful, and I finally had to realize that I don't think this is okay. I started hanging out with other people, and she got mad at me, and I realized how good the other people were. So I realized this isn't okay. I need to let go. I cannot be a part of it.
What made you realize though, Hanalei? What made you? Was it like a situation, or was it a build up over time? What made you think, you know what? No, I've had enough. What gave you that thought?
It felt like over time she started making meaner comments, and it just started feeling rude, and it started feeling like she was actually being mean to me. And I'm like, hey, friends aren't supposed to do this. I kind of felt like I had enough, and I started seeing other people and hanging out with other people, and I started realizing friends don't do that. And so it's kind of like I finally am like, this isn't okay, and I had to leave the school because of how hurtful everything was. And now I do homeschool, which I'm 100 times more happy with, and I have real friends that I care about, and it's really amazing, and I'm so glad I was able to leave that space. But some people aren't, and some people it's a lot harder. So it's either reaching out to people and not feeling ashamed to reach out to your parents, reach out to family, reach out to friends, true friends, and people, like if you're in a school like a principal or something, and know that it's okay. It's not this form of either, oh, I'm snitching on them, or oh, I'm being the mean one. Know that if you feel hurt and if you don't feel okay, you have to open up and you have to let go.
True that. Absolutely true that. It's a shame that kids feel like they need to live their identity through somebody else as opposed to themselves. Mm-hmm. I always tell, I was coaching a chap yesterday, no, the day before, and I said, "Who's your best friend?" And he said, "Oh, Timmy." I said, "Oh, really? Is he your best friend?" He said, "Yeah." "Oh, okay. What about your other friends?" "Oh, no, not him, not him, not him." "Do you know the most important person you forgot?" And he said, "No, I've named them all." I said, You haven't named you. I want you to be your best friend. I want you to wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and smile." Hanalei, do you know how uncomfortable it is? Every single adult client that I've had, every single one feels uncomfortable by looking in the mirror and saying, "I love you." And it's just like, "Oh, I can't say that." Oh, and why? Why? Oh, because it's arrogant. It's not arrogant. You're not putting anyone else down. You're giving yourself appreciation. And I think as parents, the number one lesson you can teach your child is self-belief. But you can only teach self-belief by demonstrating that, by operating on this planet, believing in yourself, so your child sees that and thinks, "Whoa, that's really cool." And I think that's what's happened to you with your mom and your dad, that are on stage with that presence and that aura and that power, but that humble humility, and you see that, and not only your mum and dad, but other speakers as well. And you've gradually learned that. How old were you when you went to your first event, if you don't mind me asking?
I was born. I was like a baby. I've literally gone to events my whole life. I can't think of my first one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible, and now I'm able to speak at them. Like, it's amazing seeing it come full circle.
100%, and I think that's really cool, because there's a chap, Dr. Bruce Lipton, who says you're in the imprint phase of 0 to 7, and for you to be in that zone, the imprint phase of absorbing all this information, because your brain works in different, it's like theta brainwaves, it works in different ways to absorb more information. For you, having that is brilliant, because it's allowed you to find your values, to find your way in life, to have the strength to carve your own destiny. I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, you've wrote a few books, right?
Yeah, I've written with my mom my own book, How to Be and Raise an Unstoppable Kid. Oh, thank you, Mom. Comes in from the corner.
There it is.
Perfect timing. So this is my book, How to Be and Raise an Unstoppable Kid. And nice. So this is, so to kind of tell a little story about this book. When I was 7 years old, I got asked, what do I want to be now, instead of what do I want to be when I grow up, and that opened up my mind and the opportunity to be able to think differently. I feel like a lot of us kids get put in boxes. You have to go to school, you have to go to college, you have to get a job, you have to get married, then you can do what you love. Then you can choose after you have money. And of course, where's the happiness? Where's that point that says you must be happy to live life? And so it's because of the school system and the system we live in that kids don't find what makes them happy. They don't find it can be a hobby, but why not it be your life? Why do you have to go to job and be unhappy, and then you can come back and either, if your hobby is knitting, then you can knit all day and you'll feel happy. Why don't you make that your career? Why don't you make that your job, so you can never have and leave that space of happiness? And so this book I wrote right here to connect it. When I got asked, what do I want to be now? What do I want to be now in this present moment? I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to be a creative. And it was opening my mind to new possibilities and new ideas. And so it was a permission slip to do what I love. And so after many years, I wrote this book, so I'm able to inspire other kids to be able to do what they love. And I teach the journeys of making your own business as a kid entrepreneur, to finding out what makes you happy, to be an unstoppable kid. And there's so many different life lessons I have in here that I've only learned from my short time on earth.
but such high quality time on earth. It's not about the length. It's about what you do, and it's just amazing. And I know some people, unfortunately, may be watching this and be a bit jealous of you and think, oh, so she do it. Well, she's only doing that because of my mum and dad, and then she's only doing this because of, she gets to live in Bali. She's only doing this. Well, actually, no, not really, because Hanalei could have chosen not to do any of those things. She could have chosen a path of fitting in. And I'm so glad you raised that point about how society or parental beliefs or religious beliefs squash us. They squash us, and we go through, we get born, then we learn, then we go to school, then we go to high school, then we've got a choice now of going to college or maybe even apprenticeship or something like that, or a job. But then again, you've got to stay in that job for like 60 years or so to pay all of the bills, by which time you're supposed to form a relationship with one special person, which having no special lessons of how to do that without arguing, without falling out. And then you're supposed to create a lump of flesh called a baby, which you've had, again, no lessons of how to do that. And then what? Where's your life? Where's your life? I think the metric for life is how much fun you have. I think it's how much fun you have in your life. And you are the architect of your own fun. And the way that you're living proof, and the way you articulated that was beautiful, amazing. You are living proof of the fact that, you know what, let's not be a sheep, let's be a lion or a lioness, sorry, and let's do what I want to do. And I think people say, oh, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I was just like, I agree with that, I do, but I reckon you've hit the jackpot if you can love what you do, you get paid for it, and you're giving something back. You're creating something of service to this world. It's like the Tony Robbins 6 essential needs. The bottom two are more spiritual, but growth and contribution. If you're hitting them, whoa, and do less. You are totally hitting them.
Yeah, and so I really believe that inspiring kids, especially kids and also parents, but kids to be able to do what they love at such a young age, so then they are able to learn what happiness is and learn what makes them happy, so then they never have to work a day in their life and they never have to be in that system, and they can create their own life. And actually, like how I started my own business, since a lot of people think, oh, I just got paid like a bunch of money from my mom and dad and now I have made a company. I actually asked, right when my mom asked me, what do you want to be now? I asked for $20, 20 simple dollars, and I bought threads, needles, fabric, and I made these keychains, these janky little keychains out of thread and fabric, and I sold them to all of my mom's clients at her events.
Nice.
And what I did was I told a story with them. I told a vision. What I want to be able to do is I want to be able to make my own fashion brand. I want to make my own company. I want to be able to travel the world. And I told this vision and story of what I wanted to do. And those keychains invested into my future. And I made $300 off of those keychains. I gave back my mom the $20. And then with the rest of the money I had, I was able to make my first prototype. I was able to make my first collection. And now I've been able to create a fashion brand from something so small to growing it to something so big.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And again, you've touched on something else incredibly, incredibly important. Work ethic. Nothing is going to come to you through doing nothing, is it? And it's great. You're saying, yeah, you've got to, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life and you're giving back, etc. But there's an element of work ethic in there. You have to not grind, but you have to work hard, and you have to be focused and dedicated to your own journey.
Of course.
And I think I was just wondering, doing what you're doing now, right? So I wrote a book because I'm dyslexic and I always call myself dumb. I always said, Dale, I'm so stupid. Someone said, Dale, with your experience, you should write a book. And I went, nah, I'm too stupid to write a book. I'm dyslexic. And then something went doink, went, no, I'm going to now. I'm going to write. And it took me a long time. But I worked hard and I got frustrated, but it's only because it meant so much to me. So in your life, Hanalei, where's been the most hardest work that you've had to put in?
That's hard. I feel like for me, I've always been a creative, so it's been easy for me to create and think of the ideas, but it's hard to nail down the actual steps to take. And one thing I'm so happy with is that my dad are entrepreneurs, so they're able to like help me with the marketing, help me with like all of, like the products and stuff. So I just create, and they are just like teaching me all these life lessons on how to be a business owner. I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I hope I understand. Let's put this into paper. And so like those has definitely been like the hard moments, like learning about marketing, learning about like product placement, like all these things. I'm like, I just want to create, but there's some of the most crucial things, because like a quote, I don't have the exact quote in my head, but if you're an artist and you don't know how to market, you'll become a starving artist. A marketer and an artist can create something, a successful life and happiness and financial. That's not the exact quote, but it's something that if you can learn like the business strategies and you can learn the creativity, boom, you can create anything. And I think that's so important. And like 3 steps for anyone at home wanting to learn how to create their own business is that I've used was, first, believing in yourself, actually believing that you can do it. Second, sharing your voice and talking about it. And third, creating a dream team. And those things are so important because you need to believe in yourself to accomplish something. Because if you don't have that belief and if you don't have that self-love, how are you going to make it? You'll bring failure to yourself because you think you're going to fail, and you'll attract that. And then being able to create a dream team and a group of people that can help you along the way. Like my mom and dad are my dream teams, and they're able to help me with the things that are a little more difficult for me. And then sharing your voice and talking about it so you can get people to hear what you want to do. And I think those are really important steps.
I think that they're vital. Self-belief is huge, and having your own dream team is awesome. I think it's having, what would you call it, your own cheerleaders. I always try and be the dumbest in the room. I always try and be the weakest in the room, because like if I go to the gym, I try and go to the gym when well, not anymore, but when there's guys in there that are really big and stronger than me, so I've got or quicker than me, so I've got something to look at. I've been hanging out with people now which are entrepreneurs, so it's 6-figure people which are amazing, just so I can learn off them. And part of me thinks, oh, it's a little bit too late because I'm 36. No, it's not at all. Because I know some people might sit there and compare themselves to, oh my gosh, Hanalei's only 13 and she's done this, this, and this, and she's done this, and she's still smiling, and she's in Bali. Oh, but I'm like, well, don't measure yourself with someone else's ruler. First of all, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just be the metric for your own life and just keep pushing forward. By the way, just before we do go any further, you're getting so much love from the chat. So everyone's there. So all the hearts. Nicole Cook, Jess, there's lots of other people as well. I don't want to touch it in case it switches off, but there's so many people that are saying you're such a great role model, which is cool, which I agree with, absolutely agree with. So, and this is a bit of a random question. If you met you now, would you like another Hanalei? Would you be friends with her?
I think that I'm slowly becoming friends with myself, because for me, I've dealt with a lot of lack of self-love, and learning to finally respect myself, and learning to finally, like how you were saying earlier about calling yourself dumb or stupid, like that's still stuff that I deal with like on a daily basis. If I mess up, I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid, oh, I'm so dumb. But it's like learning to respect and say, no, I love myself. No, I'm perfect the way I am. And it's that process of regaining self-love and self-respect.
I love that. How, first of all, thank you for being so honest and vulnerable just there. That's actually a step in my book towards confidence. If you've got to be, I've got many steps to be confident, but that's one of them. Just by owning yourself and understanding and being vulnerable with people, just like you're being vulnerable with your family for telling them that you were being bullied, etc. Which leads me to the next point, which is, I think you've got to be comfortable with your uncomfortable. As in, I don't mean going to the gym and lifting heavy weights or going for a run or, you know, surfing and no, I mean with your own insecurities. So when I was growing up, I was quite spotty. I was really skinny, and I didn't like myself. I think I was about your age actually, and I was very, very spotty, like all here, and you know, it wasn't very good. But it's a good thing because that means I've got oily skin, which means that I'm self-moisturizing, so I look younger. I've been said that I look 25, so just saying. But I'm just so as long as you get comfortable with your uncomfortable. I think it was Peter Dinklage, you know, the guy from Game of Thrones. That was he's an absolute legend of an actor. He was in, what was he in? He was in Elf, and he said, once you own your flaws, nobody will ever be able to control your emotions.
Yeah, totally.
And it's that recognition that you're not perfect. You never are going to be perfect because perfect doesn't exist. So when you start owning your flaws and owning who you are and smiling and laughing along, Dale, you've got a really big nose. I know, it's serious. I could smile you had for dinner, mate. They stop. Like my trick is, and this, if you ignore, and when I mean ignore by just ignoring, or ignoring by jesting along with it. If you ignore a bullying comment 3 times, 90% of the time they will stop.
Yeah.
So if you can like joke,
because a lot of bullies want you to feed into it. They want to get your reaction. Oh, you look dumb, or oh, that was dumb, instead of like saying, oh, sorry, or like, oh, I know, like, so stupid. Instead, just saying, sure, and just walk away. They're just like, what was that reaction? Like, it has no reaction. It's not giving into them. It's actually saying, just like, or even laughing at yourself, like, yeah, like, sometime I saw this story, which was hilarious. I saw this video of this guy telling, like, his life story on how he got through bullying, and so many people were bullying him and calling him, like, he was Asian, so, like, calling him all these, like, horrible stereotypes, and he's like, yeah, that's hilarious, and then he would just walk off and laugh at himself, and then after a while, they're just, like, they kind of just started respecting him because, like, all of the things that they said to him, he laughed with them instead of, like, feeling self-conscious or something. And then he was able to own himself and say, yeah, these are my flaws, but I'm perfect the way I am, and no one can tell me wrong.
100%. I love that. That's so funny. In fact, that reminds me, I do a bit on stage. So when I speak in schools or speak in, you know, internationally or whatever, I do a bit. I get a member for the audience to come up, and it's them and me, and we have a big. My job is to make them stop bullying me and being nasty to me, and they pick on me, and then I get all upset, and then I get angry, and I try and pick on them, and they pick on me back, and and 100% of the time, this person always wins because I tend to choose kids, and kids are so creative. And kids hammer me. They say, "Oh, look at your skinny calves. Look at your big nose. Oh, you dress like a 12-year-old. What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, well, you're mean and you stink and you're horrible." And they always win. And the whole audience votes. Who won? The kid did. And then we do it again. Say, "Okay, now it's my job to make you stop again." And they say, "You're an idiot." And I'm just like, "I am. You know what? I have done pretty stupid things in my life. The other day I fell over by trying to jump up this tree. It was hilarious." And then they're like, "Yeah, well, look at your little calves." And it's like, I know, right? Seriously, I have to wear girls' jeans sometimes so they go around my calves. It's crazy. And they're like, you dress horribly. I'm like, do you know what? Actually, dude, you dress really cool. Can you show me like how to, like, what? Honestly, I'm not even joking. How can I dress cool? So not to be like you, but my own version. Can you help me out? And they're like, well, yeah, just all you need to do is da 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 da. I'm like, you appreciate that. Thank you so much. Anything else?
Yeah, a lot, man. Means a lot.
Dude, and they stop straight away.
Yeah.
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 So
yeah, it's really interesting, and it's really easy how you can flip back and forth and stand your ground. And I think that's something really important for kids to learn about not feeding in and being able to stand your ground. Like if you feel like you can't do something, or you're in a situation where you can't tell someone or talk about it, just making sure that you're not feeding into it, so then it doesn't affect your bubble and affect yourself. It's like you have a shield. You just block it off and forget about it and just continue. And I think that's so important. Yeah.
100. Absolutely 100. I love that. I didn't mention this, and I'm so glad that you did, but stand your ground. Perfect. Because I that's another rule of mine. So strong body language. Strong body language and having a good tone. Don't be so passive. I think there's 3 ways to communicate: aggressive, passive, or assertive. Be assertive and just, be comfortable with who you are. So control your body language. Yeah. So I know you are a super active girl, so I'm going to close with one more question. By the way, I'm so coming over to Bali at some point. I've got a friend over there called Aaron Darko. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, yeah, we love him. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
We met in San Diego.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
He's so cool.
He was just here a few days ago.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to swing over and see him. So I might knock on your door and you can give me a surf. Well, your dad, or you can give me a surfing lesson.
Yeah, I'll teach you.
Yeah. But so another question, last one will probably be, now if you could go back to your 8-year-old self, would your 8-year-old self, A, see you as a role model? And what might you say to her to help her become powerful?
Yeah. I definitely say, to me back then, remember to always love yourself.
Perfect.
Remember to know that you're going to change and grow, and learning to accept change through what you love, what you believe in, and the places you'll go. If you keep love in your heart at all times, and if you do something dumb, remember to be just like, laugh it off and feel good and not dig into yourself and just being mean to yourself. Remember to always practice self-love. And I feel like that's something that even now I need to practice, and I need to get back into. And so just always remember to love yourself, because you're going to go through and do so many things and you're going to grow so much. Just remember to always love yourself and love what you create and always be happy.
I love that so much. That's so super cool. I always say, find the fun in failure.
Yeah.
So when you fail, just find the fun in failure. That's it. Okay. And final one. What do you want your legacy to be in this world?
I want to be able to share with people to always be happy and live their dreams now. That they can change the world no matter who they are, what they can create. You can change the world in any form. You just need to take action and do it now. Remember to always love yourself, and remember to always do what you love and do what makes you happy. Because really, what's the purpose on this planet if we're not happy? So.
I love that so much. I was so looking forward to this, and I was totally not disappointed. It was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for giving me a snippet of your time. I know you've got a birthday party to go to, so thank you so much. Definitely want to hang out with you 3 in the future. That'd be brilliant. And Aaron, obviously, Mr. Darko, when I make it over to Bali, if I'm allowed to. But in the meantime, you're getting so much thanks from the comments. Thank you so much. And love to your mom for helping us out today. Thank you. Love to mom. And love to you as well. Thank you so much. There she is. Hey! There she is. Have a brilliant rest of your day and enjoy your surfing and enjoy your party. Take care, Hanalei.
Bye.
Bye, Rhonda.
Bye.